Hey, this is Eddie Green with Tier Level, and welcome to another series of educational webinars. This is something that we're going to be bringing to you every single month, and we hope that you're finding the value and enjoying them as much as we enjoy making them for you. This time we're going to talk about culture in the workplace. We're going to steer away a little bit from the sales process. But are we really? Culture, I think, has got to be one of the single most important aspects of success in the workplace. So I'm going to rock the boat a little bit here, and this is by no means a political commentary, but let's just talk about the type of culture that, say, for example, like right to work has caused. I'm not saying that right to work is wrong. I'm not saying that right to work is right. So whether you're pro or con, it does create a stigma of that there is no longer the irreplaceable employee. I remember back in the days whenever my dad was an employee, and he was just one of those people that was so well respected, they could not imagine life without him, and I think that that has fallen by the wayside. The culture has become now to where if you're going to get a phone call from the boss, you're scared that it's going to be about something you've done wrong rather than something you've done right. If you end up being a situation where they're going to call a meeting, then all of the meanderings and the whisperings that are happening are, I wonder who's going to lose their job today or who's going to be in trouble today. So the culture in the workplace has been more for less. We want more hours, more productivity, more from you, less family time, and less pay. And it's just created people turning people into machines, and there's no real value anymore. So I'm going to ask you as leadership to do one very important thing when you think about culture. I want you guys to look yourself in the mirror every single morning before you go into your place of work, and I want you to ask yourself one very important question. Would I want to work for me? Would I, or do I, provide an environment that is conducive to success no matter what position someone holds in my organization? Do they wake up happy to come to work every day? Now, I understand every day is not a trip to Disney World. We all have our problems, but there are things that we can do to affect and have a positive culture and still be able to hold people accountable. So you either have one of two things in your culture. Either it's a fear-based culture that's in the workplace, or it's a culture to where nobody does anything wrong, so therefore you have underperforming and stagnant employees. Either are not good. Now, I'm not saying that that's the way every workplace is, but in traveling all over the country, I see more often than not that they err to either A or B. Now, there are companies that are doing it right, and for those of you guys that are and that value your employees and value what the workplace environment is like, I give you all the kudos in the entire world, because those are the type of employees that are dedicated. They're not leaving. They're not looking for other jobs. They're happy where they're at, and they're never going to ever leave their place of employment. And it doesn't come down to how much money they're making. It doesn't come down to the fact that they have more benefits than anybody else or they drive the nicest cars. What happens is that this major part of their life that they spend every single day, they actually enjoy what they do, and that comes from leadership. So I think that more importantly, that instead of talking about what type of culture you do or don't have, I think what's the most important part is how do you execute having fantastic culture in the workplace. I think that most importantly, the first thing that you have to do is you genuinely and sincerely need to care about your employees. I'm not saying you have to involve yourself in their personal lives or become their best friends, but you need to care about whether or not they're happy. What are some of the things that you can do to do that? First thing you can do is have an open door policy. I hear a lot of people say we have an open door policy, and then people will come in with either solutions or even complaints, and it all falls on deaf ears, and nobody is taking it seriously. Nobody really genuinely cares about what the employee has to say. The employee is coming to you trusting that you're going to be a solution to whatever issue it is that they're having. So do I think open door policies can be abused? I do, but in leadership, it's up to you to use that determination on whether or not they're abusing that policy or whether they do have legitimate concerns or ideas that can launch the company forward. I think that maybe you're in a situation that your company, you can't give a raise this year. Maybe financially, it could be a potential nonprofit organization to where, you do need more from the employees, but you cannot fiscally be able to give them a raise, and that's understandable. Sometimes times are hard. There's so many other things that you can do to show employees appreciation that don't involve raises. Let them work from home on Fridays. Tell them that you trust them enough to be able to perform their jobs away from the office. And it doesn't have to be an all the time thing, but an every once in a while thing goes a long ways. Run contests for vacation days and time off and things like that. Hold a company picnic, even if you only grill out hot dogs. It's do it away from the office to where you can show them that it's company appreciation. I think that you could bring donuts on a Monday morning. There's just all kinds of things that you can do to increase morale if you can't afford to just give people raises across the board. So I think that more importantly, though, for company culture, it goes two ways. It's not all about fluff. It's not all about being able to tell the employees or show the employees, hey, look, I brought you some donuts, I care about you. I think it really gets down deeper, and what you need to do is you need to understand that employees are craving education and true servant leadership, and they're craving direction and praise for a job well done. And I think we don't spend enough time in leadership noticing all the good things, but even more importantly, noticing the bad things that are going on in our culture. There's that old adage that a rotten apple can spoil the bunch, and you have to have awareness within your organization that if you do see negative behavior, you need to grab that and nip it in the bud. It needs to be a closed door conversation, that it's something that you've noticed, find out if there's something that could be adding to that for the employee that you can assist them with, and give them verbal reprimand that, look, I understand, but we don't bring our problems to work. And it's a situation that I really need you to try to be a more positive influence on the employees around you, because the next conversation might not be nearly as tactful, but you have to nip it in the bud. So not only the good parts, being able to tell an employee, hey, these are the things I appreciate about you, this is the hard work that I've noticed, and being able to praise them for those things, but you have to be able to give them direction in the things that you find that they're doing wrong. Now, we as leaders have one important thing that we need to understand. I think we spend too much time looking for the things that they're doing wrong rather than the things that they're doing right. So there needs to be that balance. Find the things that need improvement within your organization, to be a positive mental leader, to be able to give them direction on how these improvements need to be made. Educate your employees, create students of the game. But more importantly, you need to also to understand that all the negative things that are affecting your organization and your culture need to be done away with as well. So we hope that that helps. Again, I'm going to challenge you as leadership and to look yourself in the mirror every day and say, would I want to work for me? And I hope that answer is yes. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email Eddie@tierlevel.com, and thanks for watching.